Hello and welcome back to day 70 of the n8n series. Yes, it's been 70 days since we started n8n and we have covered a lot of things in this series. So in the past videos, we have seen how do we connect our data to Google Sheets. We have seen how do we connect it to Airtable. But what if we want to connect it to something which is more sophisticated, which can handle thousands of records? And that's why we wanted to also show how do we connect n8n to a platform that can handle large set of data, Supabase. This platform is equivalent to the MySQLs and so on and so forth, but for people who do not understand coding. These days, Supabase is connected to a lot of vibe coding platforms, right? It could be on Lovable, Bold, Emergent, okay, and all of it. Not just that, it can also be connected to Bubble and multiple other platforms. Of course, you can use it along with code as well. But let's see how do we connect it to n8n and how do we do the CRUD operations. So let's get started. In today's video, let's understand what is Supabase, how do we use it, okay, set up a project, and then some interface of Supabase. After that, let's understand the difference between Supabase and using Postgres. And then we'll see how do we connect Supabase to n8n. Now let's head over to Supabase and let's get here. As you can see here, Supabase, the Postgres development platform. Right, so let's go here, click on sign in. I already have an account, that's why I'm going to use sign in. But if you don't have, please create one. Let me use GitHub to sign in. Supabase by Supabase, use personal, authorize Supabase. So you can see here we have got some projects here. I'm going to create a new project and I'm going to call this as 1000 days. Okay, we have to create a database password. Just going to give some simple password, but please ensure that you give a strong password. Region, by default it is APAC and it says recommended. But if you want any other region, you can use that. I'm going with the default one. Click on create project, create new project. Okay, so once you are done with this, okay, on the left side you can see table editor where you can create tables, SQL editor where you can do any SQL queries to create or edit or update your tables. Okay, and we have database here, right, which includes your schema visualizer. Once we have the table, we can see it here. Let's go to table editor and quickly create a new table. And let's call this as client kins. Okay, description, I'll leave it empty. Enable role level security. Okay, I'll leave it as is. Enable real time and all of this. Let's not get into these details for now. And you can see by default, it would have added one ID column and created a column. We can add columns from here. For example, let's say client name. Okay, and that is going to be a text field. So we can search for text and add it over here. I'm not going to add all the columns here. I'll show you a simpler method. Let's click on save. Okay, so the table is created here. Okay, if we go to database, if we go to tables here, you can see this particular thing, which is client info. It says 3 columns. Okay, and that is ID created at client name, right? If you go to schema visualizer, you can see that this is the table that you have created. If you have multiple columns and they are well connected and so on and so forth, you can see the visualization of which data is connected to which other data and so on and so forth. Okay, we had also done a video on creating your database schema using AI. So if you have not watched that, please do watch that. Okay. Now, here is where you can do the authentication and stuff like that. So if you're connecting Supabase as your backend to any of the front-end applications built on Lovable, Bolt, Emergent, or any of those platforms, you could do the authentication and all of that here. Storage of any files and so on and so forth can happen over here. Edge functions, you can write your own functions over here, right? Which can be a code-based or any other type of functions. We have something called real-time here. Okay, create real-time experiences. Okay, broadcast messages, write policies, subscribe to a channel and so on and so forth. Okay, and we have a lot of other things over here, including some integrations, but we are not getting into all of that for now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ChatGPT. Okay, of course I will be logged out because we need something very simple. And I'm going to ask, can you read SQL query to create database on Supabase for client information? Okay, just mention this. Okay, so I'm going to copy this, come back to Supabase. Let's go to SQL editor. I'm going to add this particular thing here and let me click on run. Success, no rows written. Okay, and let's go to database. Let's go to table. So we have got this done. Let's go to table editor. I will show you how we can edit this particular table, and we have this table called client info. So we can mention we have a table called client info, and we need to change columns required for storing all client information like name, email, phone number, let's say country, and date. Could you please give me the query to make this update? Okay, so and I need to mention it as this is for Supabase because Supabase uses PostgreSQL. Okay, and that's what we need. So okay, let's copy this. Let's come back here. Let's go to SQL and let's paste this. Okay, we just have to ensure that the table that we're talking about is matching client info. That is good. Let's come back here and let's just hit enter. Sorry, we'll have to run this from here. Created of relation client info already exists. Okay, so creator is already available, so we don't need this. We can remove this, and name also we have added. So let's remove this. Email, phone number, and country. And we could also add column date. Okay, so let's run this. So you can see here we've got success, no rows written because they don't have, we don't have any data there. So you can see here we have got client name, which was already added. So we have email, the phone number, country, and the date, right? So this is how we can easily create and update database on Supabase. Okay, you can use ChatGPT or any other AI platforms to get the SQL query. Okay, now let's move on. Now let's understand. We just saw how do we create a project and some interface details about Supabase. Okay, now let's understand the difference between Supabase and Postgres. Okay, or why use Postgres versus Supabase. Supabase generally happens to be a bit slower because Supabase, when we connect Supabase to n8n, n8n is going to make an API call to Supabase, and then Supabase is going to then make a API call to AWS because Supabase is built on AWS, right? And that's a double call that's happening, and then AWS will respond back to Supabase, Supabase will respond back to n8n. Okay, that's what we can see here, right? n8n to Supabase REST API, and then AWS PostgreSQL, that comes back to Supabase and then to n8n. Okay, that's the architecture that we will have to use if we are using via Supabase. But if we use it directly via Postgres, okay, which is handled by AWS, okay, API call is directly happening to AWS server, and that gets updated on our Supabase database. Okay, we can see any updates happening on the table and it will respond back. So you can see here n8n to PostgreSQL and then directly to n8n. So there is no middleman over here. Okay, ultimately it is making a call to the same server. So that's why we will use Postgres. Okay, and there is also some limitations. I'll show you that. So if you go to Supabase, okay, which is here, right, you can see here we have just on a schedule. Okay, we don't have any specific triggers from Supabase. We have 5 actions, which is create a row, delete a row, get many rows, update a row. There is no create multiple rows, there is no update multiple rows. But on the other hand, if you're using Postgres, Postgres. Okay, we have a trigger which is on new Postgres event, and then we have delete tables or rows. Okay, execute a SQL query, which is very powerful because you can get any queries directly from ChatGPT or something like that, and you can exactly get the required data from your Supabase, right? Insert rows in a table, not just row. Insert rows, and then insert or update rows in a table. So you can update multiple rows at the same time. Select rows from a table and update rows in a table. Okay, so we have multiple options over here. So that's why we are going to use Postgres. Okay, and let's first insert row in a table. Okay, and for that we'll have to connect our Postgres account, okay, which is directly coming from Supabase. So create new credential here. So to create or connect our Supabase account here, we'll have to go to Supabase and click on connect. Okay, and we have a direct connection, which is basically happening via n8n to Supabase and then Supabase to this thing. That's not what we need. We need a transaction pooler. Okay, so once we do that, we can see the parameters from here. Okay, and we have to copy each of this, like host, come back here, change the host over here, and then let's come back. We have port that's not needed. Database is already Postgres. User is this one. Let's copy, change the user over here, and password is whatever we had given previously. Okay, please use the same password here. Ignore SSL issues. We have to enable this. So let's click on ignore SSL issues here. Okay, and port is 5432. Okay, let's change this one to 6543. Right, and then click on save. You can see connection tested successfully, it says. Now we're going to insert the data, and from list is going to be public. Okay, because this is a public table that we have created here. Right, schema is public. Table is going to be the client info. Okay, it will get us all the information that we need. Right, created is going to be whatever date we have created actually. Okay, so I'm going to just remove this. Client name, let's call it as John, right? And John at abcg.com. Phone number, some random phone number I'm going to add. Country, let's say US. And this is the date when they had contacted us. Let's say 24. Let's click on execute step and let's go back to database, and you can see it over here. Right, this was the time at which it was created. This is an incremental value. This is the name that we given, email address, phone number, and country, and the date. Right, so this is how you can do inserting of data into your Supabase table. Even though we use Postgres, you can see the data reflecting on your Supabase account. Now similar to this, you could also do an update. Okay, so just go to Postgres, and you have update rows in a table. Okay, we'll use the same account, update, and schema is public. Okay, table is going to be client info. It will ask you what is the ID with which you want to check it. Okay, it can be ID. For that you will have to give ID. Let's say we don't have the ID. Okay, so I can select it as client name. So I'll have to give the client name so that it understands which row of data do we need to update. So here I'm going to give John Joy. Okay, so ID is not getting updated, creator is not getting updated. Email address. Okay, let's assume that email address needs to be updated. So John at xyz.com. Okay, so I'll remove everything else. We don't need to change those things, and I just execute step. And if we come back here, you can see that this is already updated. Okay, just in case if it takes some time, then you can just refresh it here and it should be updated. So rest of the things remains as is, nothing happens there. And this is how you can update the row in the Supabase table, right? Not just that, you could also delete a row, right? So of course, we have to go to Postgres, and then we have delete tables or rows. Okay, and this is going to be client info. Okay, we have multiple options here: truncate, delete, and draw. Now we don't want to delete all the rows. I mean, of course, we have just one row of data. Let me just quickly go and add one more row of data here. Insert row ID, and this will be created automatically. Client name, let's say this is Eric Shop. Email is eric@tbcd.com. Let me click on save. So we have two rows of data, and if I select truncate, then it will remove both the rows of data. Okay, if I go delete, then it gives us the option to select what is the condition that we want. Okay, and in column I'm going to tell ID, because we have ID here, or it could also be client name equals to Eric Shop. You can add multiple conditions if you want. Okay, now let's click on execute step, and it says true. If we go back here and refresh this, you should be able to see that the second row of data is deleted while the first row is there. Okay, so that's how you can do the delete operation. And of course, you can get all the rows of data, and here we'll have to select rows from table to be able to read something, and you can just mention client info, right? Return all, limit is 50. Okay, you can also select particular rows, okay, if you want. For example, client name is something, and so on and so forth. You can do that. You can also sort them. Okay, you can also see what are the options available here: connection timeout, delay closing, idle connection, query batching, and so on and so forth. Let's ignore them for now. Sorting, we have options of sorting any of these columns that we have, and again ascending, descending. Okay, I'm just going to remove that. Again, multiple conditions can be added as we saw in the previous case. I'm going to execute this step, and we have just one record which we should be able to fetch easily. So you can see here, this is the creator date, the client name, email address, phone number, country, and the date. So if you're looking at scalable database, then instead of using Airtable or Google Sheets, go with Supabase. It's very powerful, and you can connect it to any other platform even in the future if you are building your own front end. I hope you found this video helpful, and if so, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.